Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome live on my YouTube channel for this Thursday night edition of Keep It in the Ring of February 5th, 2026. I'm Richmancuso. Thanks for joining us this evening. In a moment or so, my co-host, producer, great colleague Tommy D, TD Sports Talk, will be joining us along on the String Punk Entertainment stream and TD Sports Talk, his channel. Like and comment, subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. Also, the Facebook Keep It in the Ring page. Like that as well. Social media handles, as always, my friends, the bottom of the screen to get me. Facebook.com, richmancuso, xring786. I'm on Instagram as well. And read my content on latinosports.com, one of the few outlets I write for. And we have a full hour, a little more here at Keep It in the Ring tonight, live, and we'll get right to it. The boxing, the wrestling, and so forth. We're going to talk about Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, of course. We'll get into that and the controversy somehow that followed. Also, Xander Zayas defends his title, 154, in Puerto Rico, San Juan. Good homecoming. We'll analyze that. Also, Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy, supposedly has a new streaming network lined up with the Zone deal not particularly set. Deontay Wilder ready to fight again in the heavyweight division. And we have the boxing title weekend in the books. We'll talk about all of that. WWE Royal Rumble. That was a big one leading into WrestleMania now. We'll get to that in the wrestling segment. Nostalgia. Fact of the week. So much more. A few surprises here and there. It's Keep It in the Ring. I'm Richmancuso. Before I get in Tommy D, let's get to it. First of all, fans at Madison Square Garden, I want to address this. And in Puerto Rico and in the UK as well was the tidal wave weekend. We talked about it on the program last week. Of course, the biggest weekend of boxing so far this year, and I don't anticipate seeing something like this the rest of the year. Yeah, there'll be big fights, and that's good for the sport. It's good for you, the fans. Disappointment on the results or not, or whatever happens, it's good for the sport. Yet it didn't generate enough publicity as it should have. Of course, mainstream media, as I always say, doesn't cover boxing. They only like the controversy, and I'll get more of that a little later, and some of the dramatics that go on with it. But again, boxing politics came into play after the Shakur Stevenson win over Teofimo Lopez. And I'm going to analyze that fight with Tommy D in a moment. And it's because Shakur now a 4-division champion. We know that. He made history at Madison Square Garden before a 21,000 plus more of fans in the Garden. A rabid fan base of boxing fans was there. And 21,000 was a record, according to the Garden and the Turk Guy Al-Sheikh and Matchroom, part of the promotion here at the Garden on Saturday night. But Shakur wins the title from Teofimo Lopez, and boxing politics again. When does it stop? He is stripped of his WBC lightweight title. Of course, he went up in weight, and now is a champion at 140, taking the title from Teofimo Lopez. And so the WBC has said now the interim champ at 140 is Jodicy Herrera and not Shakur Stevenson. Boxing politics. Well, you know what? William Zapata is now the number one contender to Shakur's title, or to the title. It gets very confusing. The WBC, in other words, had no business getting involved in this and taking Shakur's title that he won from Teofimo Lopez. And granted, this happened no more than 24 hours after Shakur won the title at the Garden. The WBC did not sanction this title fight, Shakur and Teofimo Lopez. Nor did the WBC have any involvement with that title, because it wasn't sanctioned by them. Yet, boxing politics and the well-reputed World Boxing Council that I respect and always have, they get involved and decide we're stripping Shakur Stevenson of the title because he moved up in weight. and has a title now at 140 and should not be at 135. Well, that's happened many times in boxing. Correct me if I'm wrong, where champions have had titles in two separate weight divisions, and then, whatever, they relinquished one and went on to their newest weight and new championship. But now it's all different because we're in this world of difference. We're in this world in boxing of difference where it gets more complex because there's a lot of money thrown around. Remember Terence Crawford just late last year? He becomes the undisputed over Canelo Alvarez. And then the WBC says he didn't pay $350,000 in sanctioning fees, which is totally ridiculous. I don't fault Crawford for getting rid of that title from his undisputed championship. But Maurice Suleiman and the WBC are obviously on a different wavelength, on a different page. It's not fair to Shakur Stevenson that he had to get stripped of a title that he didn't defend, that the WBC was not involved with. Not fair at all. What's fair is this. Shakur Stevenson is a champion at 140, and the WBC can do nothing about that. The unfairness of this all, again, reigns in what I call boxing politics. So, what's going on here? What's wrong? What should be done to correct this? And I want to know what you think about it, boxing fans. Comment here on the channel. We'll get to as many comments as you can. Let me bring in Tommy D, TD Sports Talk, my colleague, friend, and producer and co-host. Let me get his take on all this, and then we'll analyze Teofimo and Shakur. Tommy, I'm dressed in a little Met gear because we're getting ready for spring training, pitches and catches next week. And, of course, you decked the Seattle Seahawk purple, blue, Super Bowl Sunday. I know you're ready for it. Throwback uniform, and I have the Met pinstripe here.
Well, I got one more week of football. I got one more weekend, and then football's over. So
and then baseball begins.
I get to live out the football season all the way to the final game. So
yeah, well, we'll talk later in the hour. We'll wrap up the show, predictions on that. We'll do a little sports with Rich and Tom at the end. But Tom, before we go into Shakur and Teofimo and the fight and the ramifications and everything else, what was your take of the WBC stripping Shakur Stevenson of his WBC lightweight title?
I think it's greed. It's greed at its finest by Suleiman. There was no reason. He just defended the title this past July, and in a pay-per-view event in which he paid, I believe he paid almost $300,000 or something like that,
which is another matter in itself. These fees are ridiculous. Yeah.
So it looks like he tried to get over. So, and I'll tell you why I think he got over. I think Shakur made about $10 million in this fight. So if you think about it, he wanted 100,000, and what's 100,000? 1%. He tried to make it seem like, look, I'm only taking 1% because of the WBC for the WBC sanctioning. You know what I'm saying? 1%. It sounds so low, so little, but in fact, it's $100,000 to $10 million. That's what I think he tried to be slick about and try to be slick with it. But either way, I don't think he had any right to do that. I think that's messed up. He went up in weight in another sanctioning, and captured the WBO super lightweight and the ring title. He challenged himself. He won. You know what I'm saying? It had nothing to do with the WBC lightweight title, and I think it's wrong. I think it's totally
And regardless, Tom, eventually I think, depending on what Shakur wanted to do, and there is talk of him now going to 147 maybe. That's just speculation. That's talk. But regardless, Shakur might have wanted to relinquish that lightweight title anyway and stay at 140. But Suleiman and the WBC said, we're a step ahead of you, and more so, not sanctioning the fight at all. They had no involvement with their belt in this at all at 140. And, again, my contention, boxing doesn't get the respect because of things like this. My contention again, The only way it gets resolved is you have to have an intermediary, maybe a National Boxing Commission could solve all of this stuff, which will never happen. Not bad to Shakur, Tom, at all. Bad by the WBC.
Terrible.
Another dark eye to them. Disgusting.
It's obvious greed because let's say most likely Shakur was not going to fight again at 135, right? So they probably knew that. They just wanted to take the money, and then Shakur would have relinquished the title, but he would have been out $100,000, and the WBC would have gained. Like it's a joke. I think they obviously were trying to get over, and I think it's totally messed up. And look, they just tried to do what Bud Crawford recently too.
That's right. And I don't blame Crawford for doing what he did. We don't know still the particulars and all the facts. If indeed he stiffed the WBC out of sanctioning fees, which are ridiculously they're ridiculously high. Someone's making money there in Mexico City and ripping fighters off. And that's the contention of Dana White with Zuffa, why he doesn't want to deal with the sanctioning groups, yet Zuffa fighters are not getting supposedly paid either without sanctioning fees because they're not honoring those other belts. But Tom, let's get to the fight itself, because we know that this wasn't the best effort from Teofimo Lopez. In fact, to me and many, he lost 11 of the 12 rounds at the Garden Saturday night. Teofimo wasn't himself from the first round on. He says now that he might be moving to 147, which is another story in itself. Teofimo is back home resting with his family, and a lot coming out of this one. Something wasn't right from the first round. The Punch Cats also showed the story. Not even worth looking at them, but we will. He was outboxed. Everything Shakur did to him. Outboxed. Everything. Speed. Defense. Could not counter the southpaw and Stevenson. Again, 11 to 12 rounds most gave Shakur Stevenson in a fight that was hyped and anticipated but did not live up to expectations on the part of Teofimo Lopez. The Punch Cats tell it all. 50 more shots to the body by Shakur. The power shots were landing everything. He is in that elite club, Shakur Stevenson, of a 4-division champion at 28 years of age. The youngest since Oscar De La Hoya at 24 years of age to do that. And Adrian Broner at 26 years of age. So, Tom, quickly, now that the fight is over, we've been able to digest this. We've had so much talk about it. What went wrong for Teofimo Lopez?
Everything. What went wrong is that, and listen, I think it starts with the corner. I think it starts with his father. I think it starts with his team. And it's not. I don't want to say it's all with Teofimo. It's what Shakur did well also, because Shakur is phenomenal. So you don't want to take the credit away from Shakur on how good he was in saying how bad Teo and his team was. I think it's a combination of both. Teo is a good fighter, a very athletic fighter. I think he proved that, Shakur proved that he has one of the best jabs in the business, and a jab stops good athleticism any day of the week, so, and that was the key of this fight, and they just had Teo confused. They had him switching southpaw in some cases, which he didn't know what to do. The corner
There'd
was
been
terrible.
a lot of talk, right? A lot of talk, Tom, afterwards about what went on in the locker room of Teofimo Lopez, including Shakur Stevenson. We show this image. Everyone has seen this on social media. He went into the doctor's room, Shakur Stevenson. He saw that Teofimo Lopez was by himself. No one was in there. He didn't like that part of this whole thing. Now, of course, Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez, as we all know, have a history and a nice history among the two. They respect each other, and there's more respect from Shakur Stevenson. This bothered him. To which Kevin Connolly, Teofimo Lopez's manager, he took credit to that. According to Connolly, he said it was nonsense. They left and went back to the hotel together. They were there with Teofimo, and Teofimo's father has been criticized. He wasn't providing the proper direction also to counter Shakur, which leads to questions. I have not been able to speak to Teofimo. We text briefly back and forth a day or two after the fight, now giving him his space. I don't want to bother him. Don't want to question and prod him on this subject. But Tom, you mentioned it, and a lot of people, the majority of the boxing world, feels it's time for Teofimo Lopez to split from his dad as far as him being his trainer, because it just did not work out and he wasn't providing proper direction. And that was obvious. Something was wrong.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't want to take anything away from Shakur. I think he did a phenomenal job, and I think he's a phenomenal fighter. But listen, I was there at the Garden. I was there to watch the fight. I had a good view, and I didn't get to hear the instructions right until after the fight. Watching on TV. But what I did see from me at the ring, at the event, I did see the corner reacting late to getting inside the corner, reacting late to bringing in the stool. Like it just looked very unorganized, and just they weren't in sync. And I was with a pro fighter, Ofacio Falcone was there, and we were yelling like, what are they doing? Like, they have no clue. It's like they took defeat early since like round 3, they already claimed defeat. Like they looked defeated already, like in the 3rd and 4th round.
It looked like they had no plan, or a plan they had didn't work, and Teofimo Lopez was just off. From the first round, you could tell this was not going to happen for him Saturday night. From the first round, you could tell that, and it's in a way, it reflects something on training. The training would not his part. He trained very hard for this fight. The focus, he had that, and the mentality, as I kept telling you and everyone, he did. It shows something about what went on in that corner, and it did not look good, because Teofimo could not respond and do anything, even after that first round, that wasn't going his way.
Yeah, they just totally got totally outclassed. The course showed that there's levels to this, that Shakur is levels above Teofimo, and as far as preparation and just its overall skill and ability, and I don't want to discredit Teo or say he got totally exposed, but he did get exposed to a sense, because the preparation, you could tell the preparation was there. There was no plan B or plan C or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'll repeat this, because when we talk how bad Teo was, it kind of takes the credit away from Shakur, and I don't want to do that, because I thought Shakur was excellent, and I thought his game plan was excellent, and he executed. The only thing he didn't do was get the knockout, and I think he was going for the knockout as well in the later round, because the way he was punching in the 11th and 12th round, mind you, he was standing on those punches. I was there, you can hear it, and credit to Teo. He didn't quit. He could have quit. They looked defeated. He
could have quit, right? And he didn't. And now the question is, where does Teofimo go from here? Does he go to 147, which he said, and he even texted me. He texted me and said 147. That's his next round, which is going to be tough, but he can handle 147. It's going to take some time, though. I don't think you're going to see Teofimo fight, maybe not even the rest of this year. Maybe not. But as far as shakurstevenson, we know he's a champion in another division now, and we also know that he's got to be considered the pound-for-pound best right now. He is, and you had mentioned this, and we'll give you all the credit, and a lot of others as well. This guy is the real. He's real. You talk about Evander Holyfield being the real deal. Shakurstevenson is the real deal. He's got everything, and he's young enough to even do more.
And I thought he filled the weight beautifully at 140, and I could see him at 147 fill the weight beautifully as well. You know what I'm saying? Like Teo is going to move to 147. Maybe he fills the weight or not. He's going to have a lot of work to do. I do think he needs a new trainer, a new team to maybe show him some things, because he's been exposed before, but not at the level that Shakur did, because Sandor Martin kind of exposed him. Before that, I know he lost to Cambosis, but Sandor Martin, the way he set traps on him and everything, and Sandor Martin.
Yeah, that fight was in the Garden as well a few years back when he made his debut at 140, and I felt he might even have lost that fight, and he didn't handle it, and he didn't feel himself that night as well. He had told me that then, but. What do you make of Terrence Crawford? What's going on with Bud Crawford? Since his retirement, he's become a different type of person. He's not quiet. He's very outspoken and nasty. Well, it's obvious not a fan of Teofimo's dad and Teofimo, and they were stablemates once all in Top Rank. He said, get to, I won't use the word, buck off, him and his dad. Um, this is not Terrence Crawford. He's been outspoken more and more. I don't know what's going on with Terrence.
Well, I don't know, Rich. Teo, I know Teo's your guy, right? The Teo's your guy, but Teo said some very nasty things and some very, bad things as well, and in the direction of Bud Crawford. So listen, Bud Crawford's a retired fighter, and I mean, listen, you say what you want. Teo's got to eat his words. He did apologize after the fight, whether it was sincere or genuine. That's another question for debate. But at the end of the day, Teo said what he said. He stood on it multiple times. Didn't apologize for it when he had the opportunity before. And listen, you reap what you sow, Rich.
Yeah,
That's just what it is.
you're right. Well, Crawford's not happy with Teofimo or his dad, and it's obvious from that. So that ends that chapter for now. We will wait to see what both fighters do from here on now. Comments, Tom, as we move on? What do you got?
Everybody's saying hello. I'll read a couple of them. I like to read some of the quotes. Let me scroll up to them. But Never Folds is saying what's up. D Freeze in here. PGH Big Do's in here saying what's up. Talking about the WBC. 903 is in here saying what's up. Bruce Gas. Let me get to one of the comments. Let me see. 903. He says I think Teo made adjustments. He started landing good shots to the body, but he was just simply outmatched, trainer or no trainer. Yeah, I agree. I mean, listen, it didn't matter what training he had that night. He wasn't even come close to hitting Shakur.
No,
Shakur's just a definite another level.
And again, my final, on this is that I thought it would be a better effort from Teofimo Lopez. Something obviously wasn't right. All I could do is wish him very well, and I know he'll be back, and I just don't know when. And as soon as I do, I'll try and get him on the program, give us some answers down the line when he's ready to talk. Tom, that puts the end of that chapter. But the garden was buzzing, and, look, I got hair on my head. I don't need a toupee. This guy had a toupee, the heavyweight, who I never really cared for, out of shape, whatever, still feels he's a part of the heavyweight title mix. What did you make of this? Here's what kills me about Baby Miller. Yeah, he said bleach, and he got rid of his hair. And he was using bleach on his, and then the hair flies off. And mainstream media, they had a ball with this. This is when boxing gets publicity, with stupid things like this. Yeah, it was funny and all, but concentrate on boxing and the fight. Tom, you were there. I didn't make it. I didn't make the show because I just didn't. I could have been there. I mean, I was watching this with a couple of friends of mine, and we couldn't believe what we saw.
Listen, I didn't laugh until after the fight was over. I was just more in shock, kind of embarrassed for him. And then afterwards, when the memes started coming out and I started seeing videos and stuff, then it became funny. This overall embarrassment, and he's kind of embraced
it. An embarrassment, but man, he did. And he's laughing
all over.
He's been all over the place. Boxing's getting headlines because of this fiasco, because he lost his hair, his toupee. I got news for you. I once tried, not a toupee, but I was going bald and I didn't like it. Many years back, I used this black fake spray on the top of my head. I went out, started to rain, it started pouring. The black came down on me. That was embarrassing. I developed an infection on the top of the bald head. I'll never do that again. I don't wear a toupee. But to go in the ring like that, forget about it. Let's move on. Miller wins the fight. Don't know where he's headed. This guy we do. Shushu Carrington, Bruce Carrington. 17-0 now. KO 9th round versus Carlos Castro. In turn is the WBC interim featherweight champ. Your thoughts briefly on Carrington's win?
I was extremely happy for him. I was very proud of him. Every time I get a chance to speak to Shush, to see him in person, we spoke. I did see him after the fight late. He wasn't really looking to talk because it was like almost 4 a.m. But I did congratulate him. I gave him a hug and it was a proud moment. I had him on the show before. And I know his story growing up in Brownsville, the story of his brother and stuff that he had to overcome. So this was this was the moment of the fight, the best moment of the fight, the best highlight of the fight he had. Not the fight, excuse me, of the card. I was very happy for Shushu and the way he won. So I got a little bit of bias to me. I'm gonna lie. It's like you with Tio, me and Shushu. I love
Yeah,
Shushu, and I saw his
can't
father
help
after the
that,
fight. We spoke. I spoke to his father a little bit after the fight as well. I gave him a boxing card for Shushu to sign. So I'll probably link
Oh,
up
of
with them later on.
course.
But very, very, very happy for Shushu. Really, very
Nice
happy.
win for Shushu. He's an interim featherweight champ. He's in a tough division, and he fought in his hometown of New York, among many friends and family watching there. And Keyshawn Davis, 14-0, 10 knockouts, also on the undercard. 12th round TKO of Jermaine Ortiz, the journeyman, 140. And what can be next for Davis? Could it be Richardson Hitchens or one of those other champions? That could be interesting. Davis, Hitchens, or someone else in 140 in that very, very tough division as it is now, with Shakur as one of the champs.
I would love him to fight Richardson Hitchens. I think that's a phenomenal a phenomenal matchup. We know he's never going to fight Shakur, which I don't like that. He called out Devin Haney. I don't think he's going to move up to 147 and fight Devin. I think that's another phenomenal matchup as well. I mean, he was very sharp in that fight against Ortiz. I was very impressed. I did call the knockout. I didn't think they should have stopped it in the 12th round, but I'll take it because I called stoppage. I called the knockout over Jermaine Ortiz. And I thought he was very sharp in the beginning. Ortiz looked good in the middle of the rounds, but those body shots took a toll, and he went upstairs, downstairs. Very impressed of what Keyshawn did. Obviously, that was the best opponent he's ever fought as a professional, and he made it look easy. So,
No, top-ranked stars were on display in the Garden last Saturday night before over 21,000 fans. Good show overall, Tom, from what I observed, except for Baby Miller losing his hair. I'll take it. All right. So we move on to Puerto Rico and San Juan, and Xander Zayas, his first title defense, and turn first to unify as the youngest champ to unify titles. At 23 years of age, unified WBA champ as well as WBO junior middleweight. Xander Zayas, a hometown Puerto Rico, Coliseum, Puerto Rico. Good 12-round split decision over Baru. They've been friends, sparring partners in the past. And this young man could only get better and better because he said, Tom, after the fight, in front of his hometown fans in San Juan, Puerto Rico, I need improvement. And that's what I love about him. He says there's always need to improve. What did you think of Xander?
I thought he was great. I thought he boxed great. I mean, he showed a little bit, showed that boxing ability when he won the title, right? When he got hit with some shots, and I thought he got a little hurt in that fight. But in this fight, I thought he looked great. I didn't think it should have been a split decision. I thought it should have been unanimous. But it was a close, competitive fight. But I think Xander, Xander did win and deserved the nod. I thought 8 rounds to 4 was very fair, and Abbas was very good, very game. But I think Xander showed us something. I think he can box a little bit. He doesn't have the power that, we would want him. And as far as the Puerto Rican fans want, they want to see knockouts. They want to see more power. But listen, Xander.
Well, he hasn't been knocking guys out. He's been going the distance in his last few fights. He hasn't been knocking guys out as much as he did earlier on, But nice win for him, though. And, that division of 154. You're going to look at the names of who he could want next. He's still calling out for Sebastian Fundora. That's who he would like. The WBC champ fighting Keith Thurman in March. And then there's Gerald Boutzenis, Virgil Ortiz Jr. could still be in there. But, he wants to unify that division, become undisputed. He's on his way.
Yeah. I got a guest. Our guest has arrived. I don't know if you want to bring him up now.
That we do have someone, and we're right on target with him because we can talk about it. I believe this is one of our surprises tonight. Is he there, Tom?
Yes, sir. You want me to bring him up?
Let's bring him on. Alan Gar. Yeah, bring him in. Kid Kansas, our good friend.
Kansas.
Alan Garcia, the lightweight sensation with Top Rank. And right on time. Thanks for joining us, champ. Appreciate you coming on with us tonight.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Where are you right now? Because you've been all over the place the last few months.
I'm back in Florida. Back in camp.
All right. You're back in camp. Do you have a fight announcement?
Nothing yet, man. Still working on something for March, April, but we're getting it done.
Okay, you make sure you let us know. But more,
For sure.
I'm glad you're here. We want to talk to you. We're getting off the before we go in your analysis of Teofimo Shakur and some other things we're discussing with. That's Kid Kansas, a sensational young lightweight who's on his way. Um, you spent a lot of time with Xander Zayas. You and
Yeah.
him are good as friends as could be. You worked out together. We saw that chronicled on social media, the two of you all the time. And you were there at the fight in San Juan, I assume, right?
Yeah, I was there. I was there.
What did you make of this winning now? He's got another title. He's looking to unify. What do you think of him? And was that a great effort? Was that one of his best Saturday night?
I think he did. He fought an amazing fight. People are getting upset because he didn't go out there and throw bombs for 12 rounds. But at the end of the day, let's be realistic, bro. He boxed the perfect fight. He was throwing punches without getting hit. You know what I mean? He was hitting and not getting hit. He was sticking to his defense. He was, you know what I mean? He stayed as sharp as he could be, and I thought he fought a great fight. He he made it so one sided that even about knew that he didn't win. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like he made it a clear win. People can feel how they feel about it. I think Styles make fights, and you know what I mean. I see him doing big things at 154. I was with him his entire camp. I trained in Florida now.
I know that
Florida.
breaking up a little bit, Tom. I don't know if it's our end or his, but we got the thrust of it. Um, what did you two work on specifically? That if you care to share with us, as far as his approach to this fight and the win, and what do you see anything there that is even making him even better? Because at 23 years of age, this young man, Xander Zayas, could only get better and better.
hmm we worked. I mean, like I said, I was with him his whole camp. You know, so like it wasn't just. He had the perfect camp, and you know he did what he had to do, and it was a lot of conditioning. You know what I mean? It was a lot of conditioning, a lot of muscle conditioning, and a lot of mental conditioning because he knew that he was gonna have to stay sharp for 12 rounds, and that's exactly what he did. And so, you know what I mean? I think he's still growing as a fighter. I think he looked better this fight than he did his last, and you know he's doing it right because he's showing more and more each and every fight, and now he's a unified two-time world champion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, first to do that, youngest to do that, and
hmm
first time that's been done, if I'm not mistaken, in Puerto Rico, which
Yeah, on
was
Puerto
great
Rican
in
soil.
itself too, making a
Yeah.
lot of history. Tom, go ahead. You got a question for Kid?
I got a question, Kid Kansas. You currently fight at 140, right? At the
No,
super lightweight.
I fight at 35.
I fight at 35. So how
Yeah.
is it? At the weight sparring and working with Xander. With Xander's
Oh, I
the
nah,
bigger guy.
man. So the thing was, like, we were like, do our workout stuff together, but I wasn't sparring him. He was sparring
Okay.
with Troy Isley. But I trained with his coach now. You know what I mean? I made the move
Okay.
to Florida, so any workouts. Fighters don't like to do their workouts like alone. You know what I mean? It's always good when you got somebody that's gonna push you right there. So I was just doing my best to push him throughout camp. Not that he needed it, he's disciplined and very motivated, but you know what I mean. Just you have those days sometimes where you need someone
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And I was just I'm me being his friend, man. I get to work out and I did the same camp as a world champion, and so it was good for me. It was good for him. I got to learn, and you know what I mean. And at the end of the day, he was successful.
Okay. And then one more question, since you brought up, he's a friend. I got to bring this up because the other guy, your other friend, fought this weekend too, Jalil Hackett. Jalil
Mhm.
Hackett, who tried to bully me the other day. to the Xander fight. Remember the picture
Yeah,
he took it? Yeah. But how do you think? Did you see that fight with Jalil Hackett?
I could see that fight happening. But if that fight takes place, I don't know how long Jalil's gonna be out 154. I don't know how long Xander's gonna be at 54. Um, but I feel like that fight will probably happen within the next 5 fights. Jalil just got to keep doing his thing. Xander keep doing his thing. I feel like Jalil good, bro. He's strong. He's nice and sharp. But right now, everybody wants a crack at Xander. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Of
Oh,
course,
he's got two
everybody
of the
wants to go
titles
after
at
the Yeah,
154. They want those
everybody wants to
titles,
go after
and,
them.
and then that's a division that has some top talent in the sport. We know that, and he's calling out Fundora. He's really wants to fight Sebastian Fundora.
Hmm.
Has he relayed any of that to you personally that
Oh,
you could share?
uh, yeah, bro. I mean, just know I'm right with my guy always because I see the work he puts in the gym. It's a different grind when you get to witness the sacrifices these people are doing, and you really sit back. And when you sit back and you see where they come from, it makes you think different, bro. Like when we went to Puerto Rico, I seen where he took us to where he grew up. He, he's from the hood, like you know what I mean.
Okay.
Like he's from the slums in Puerto Rico, bro. So like, it opened up my eyes to a whole lot more, and so I'm riding with him with whoever.
Talking to Kid Kansas, exciting young lightweight is on his way. Uh, was a lot with Van Desire, the champ at 154. That's two titles now. Um, Did you see any of the Shakur Stevenson Teofimo Lopez fight at all?
Yeah, we did. We watched it with the top ranked staff in the back room after Xander's fight.
Yeah, yeah. So, what was the reaction about his performance and from the first round on?
Shakur just had the perfect game plan, and he executed it perfectly. There's no taking away from that. He did exactly what he had to do, and he took Teo off his game. You know what I mean?
He did from the first round on. He had a hard time adjusting to a southpaw as well. As
He
Shakur
he
was,
had
yeah.
a sharp, perfectly timed jab the whole fight.
How does a fighter recover from that? I know Teofimo well. We haven't talked about it, but after all the hype, anticipation, and a big fight as this was, from your perspective as a pro fighter yourself, Kansas, how does a fighter recover from something like this?
And you just come back and you do it again. You come back and you win again. You know what I mean? Some you win, some you lose some, but at the end of the day, this is our life, and you know what I mean. You gotta care to an extent what the fans say, but then it gets to a certain point where you can't let it get to you. You know what I mean? You just come back and you do it again. Because I guarantee you, even though he lost, people are still not gonna disrespect him in the street. You
No,
know,
no,
you just
no.
come back and you do it again mentally. Everyone's got to take their own mental route. You know what I mean?
Are
When I
you?
lost,
Are you?
I
And
took
I don't
my
know.
mental route.
Yeah, I don't know if you can answer this, but and comment if you can. Is his father in his corner and training him the right move for him right now? Still?
I think I think he's so comfortable with his father that he needs to have an addition to his team. So adding, you know, someone to the team would be would be great. Someone who fits his style. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
Yeah.
I think Coach Mustafa,
Musawas.
maybe Buddy McGirt. You know,
That's the guy I was thinking. That was the guy I said before.
Buddy
I would love
McGirt
Buddy
is,
McGirt. Yeah.
is is big on defense, and so is
Yeah.
Tio. Tio's a sharp counterpuncher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, when he starts to go forward, that's when he starts getting a little careless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Buddy
man, I just
McGirt, I
think an
think would be
addition
good.
would be amazing. Like, look at Frank Martin, bro. Like,
Yeah.
Frank started working with Buddy McGirt, and we just seen a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I'm expecting Frank Martin to do some damage his next fight, bro.
Yeah, he's now at
Wow.
142, another a stacked division. 140
I'm
is pretty
telling you,
stacked.
that division is. You might want to stay at 135, kid.
Hey man, I'm wherever I gotta go, but I'm ready.
Yeah.
Just know, just know, I'm I'm happy to be here in Florida. I'm very grateful, and man, I'm ready. I'm ready just to show people, you know what I mean, that I'm growing, I'm learning, and I'm elevating.
Is that
Are
your
you
permanent home now? You're permanently down there now?
But yeah, I'm out here training in Miami now, so I'll do
Okay.
my camps and stuff
Okay.
here, but I'll always go back to Kansas. Kansas is
You're a
home.
Kansas guy. I
Yeah.
know. You're
Yeah,
Kansas. That's why I call you Kid Kansas. We're going
yes,
to move
sir.
on. We're going to talk about some of the other things going on in boxing, if you don't mind, and talk with us about it.
Let's do it.
Coming from your perspective as a pro fighter, let's go with Josh Kelly's win. He's now a champion. He was dropped in the ninth round over the weekend on the zone, Murtavalov, but he couldn't finish the job. He was the Murtavalov, but he was the throne. Joe Kelly's a camp now. 113, 113, 115, 111, 114, 113. Close fight. He's now
Yep.
the IBF junior middleweight champion. Also a player to unify in that division. Guys, your opinion on this, whether you saw it, analyzed it, or read about it, take a shot at it. Go ahead, Tom. What did you think of that, of Josh Kelly's win?
I thought Kelly fought the right game plan and the right side of the pond. I mean, I thought he did a little bit too much holding in the second half of the fight, a little bit of, I thought he moved a little bit too much, running. Let's just call it that way. I don't think because he wasn't throwing punches while he was moving. The first half of the fight, I thought he had a great game plan. He outboxed him, dropped Bakram with a jab. So I mean, I think the
But
scores are just. I think he did
it was
win.
a close fight. It was close.
But and
It
he
was
fought the
close.
right
I
game
didn't.
plan.
Yeah. Now,
Bakram
caught.
Bakram's been out a long time too. A lot of people don't
Yeah.
know that.
Now, guys and kid, take a look at this. That now Zandag's got another player in that division because Kelly's the IBF champ. Was Xander talking about Kelly's win?
Xander's ready, man. Xander's ready to go forward. I don't know if y'all seen him post, but he said IBF floating, bro. He's ready to go forward.
Wow.
You know what I mean? He's like Thanos. Just he wants to collect every rock. You know what I mean? Every gem.
Well, now
That
that you
would be
say that, I
good.
gotta bring up.
Yeah.
I gotta bring up this. That there's rumor that Devin Haney and Bill Haney they would like to get a shot at Xander.
Yeah.
That was some talks
Yeah.
on Twitter. I don't know.
They
How
gotta
The
understand
Hennies,
there's a size
they're always talking. Bill Henny always talks.
But you gotta
You don't
understand there's a
know
big
that.
size difference, bro. You know what I mean? There's a very big size difference.
Yeah,
People don't understand how big Xander is.
Haney's
But
a big dude.
he's big,
Yeah,
man. He's
yeah.
a tall
He's
guy
strong.
and he's
Oh,
and
I've
he's
seen how
He's,
I've
uh,
seen him. Since he was 17 years of age, I've been following him. Now he's a man. I mean, he's really developed. He is strong. You look at him. He is strong.
he's got some great coaches, man. Shout out to Coach Andy, our strength and conditioning coach. He's just the work gets put in, bro. He don't do no 8-week camp, 10-week camp. He's in there like 12, 14 weeks, bro. He just, you know what I mean? And so,
Tom, anybody commenting to Kid Kansas as we're going along here? Because I haven't
well,
seen
one
it.
guy, my Cuban friend Jose Diaz, he said come to the Cuban boxing gym, but they already got a gym in Miami, so he's in Miami too. So that's what he was trying to say.
Okay.
oh
Maybe
yeah.
that's something there. All right, so Josh Kelly gets his win, and then we have Dana White, Zuffa Boxing, their second show, I thought, in Vegas at the Apex. Went off pretty well again. They got Jai Opatai, and he's going to be ready to defend one part of his cruiserweight title next month on Paramount Plus. And, of course, Dana White talking about now maybe honoring the other sanctioning groups, even though he doesn't agree with the things they do, because he's got Opatai in the fold who wants to unify all the titles at cruiserweight. You're taking Jose Valenzuela. His win was pretty good on Sunday night, and he defeated Diego Torres. All judges agreed 98-91, 99-91. Those 15-3, 9 KOs. But, Kid, I got to ask you this, Kid Kansas. What are you making? Are you following the Zuffa promotion? You're with Top Rank. They don't have a streaming network yet. Are you following what's going on with Zuffa and Dana White? If you've observed, what do you think?
Yeah, man. I mean, I pay attention to all boxing, I had some good friends fight on the cards with Zufa, so I've been paying attention for sure. I mean, hey, bro, at the end of the day, these fighters in there to keep winning and keep getting paid, and that's what they're doing. Um,
And they're not paying sanctioning fees, which is a good thing in a
yeah,
lot of ways. That's what Dana White wanted. And I don't have to pay the sanctioning groups because it's Zuffer in the ring and that's it. And
yeah,
it was to the point, and I don't know if you heard what we were talking about at the beginning of the program, Kid Kansas, about what happened to Shakur, and they stripped him of the lightweight title
yeah,
because the WBC said he wasn't paying fees, and yet they didn't sanction that fight at all with Teofimo. So
yeah.
it's obviously dirt politics in the sport that we know of. But you like Zuffer, and you like the direction Dana White is going with this league.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like. I mean, I don't dislike it. You know what I mean? Huh? I'm not gonna sit here and bash it, but I mean, it's just
Mm.
I mean, they're doing their thing, and that's good for them. As long as the fighters that are in there, because they're putting these guys in with good fight.
Yeah.
As long as it's what
Definitely an interesting what I've seen the first two shows, Tom. The
They're
first
getting
two
matched
shows
up.
I thought have been dynamite. They're
Well,
getting better, and he's Dana White said there's been improve.
the first show I wasn't too high in the first show. So did I get disconnected
This
here?
one wasn't bad at all. You had some other good fights there as well. Are we still all together here, or is there a problem,
yeah, yeah,
Tom?
yeah. Now we are here.
Okay, good. All right, let's move on from that. And Kid Kansas is our guest. Great having the lightweight prospect with us who's on his way to championship status. Deontay Wilder, he's back. It made it official. They did it in New York in Times Square the other day.
I can't hear.
We lost Tom. Okay, hold on, kid. We lost Tom for a moment. Hold on. We're having a difficulty here. I'm going to get Tom back.
I can't hear.
Tom, are you there, Tom?
Can you
Hang
hear
in
me?
there, kid.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I
Yes,
don't know
we
what's
hear
up
you.
with-
But Kid
my
Kansas,
camera went off. Yeah,
Kansas Kansas
just
can't
dropped
hear
off.
you right now.
he just dropped off, and my camera just dropped off. Give me a second.
right.
I'm gonna come back in. I'm gonna add Kansas. He's back. Kansas is back. I'm gonna come out
Okay.
and come back in. Go ahead, guys.
All right, Kid. Sorry about that technical problem.
keeps
This is
cutting out.
live. Yeah, we're having an issue. We know. Appreciate your patience hanging in with us. It happens. It's live. It happens. Just like when you're in the ring with a fighter, you got to adjust. We're all trying to adjust here right now. Okay, Tom is back. Now I need
Yeah.
Kansas back. Is Kid Kansas back?
Not yet. Not yet. Yeah, I guess the StreamYard is acting up, so it just like messed
Okay.
up everything. I had
All
to
right,
go
well,
back.
I'm going
out.
to tell Kansas now. He's texting me to come to get back in because I want to go on and move on because we're having some interesting talk here on the program. The three of us. I'm going to tell him to log in again. Or should we take our break now and come back?
We could do the break and then come back and just give him
All
time
right.
to come back.
All right, so get
I'll do a 2-minute break.
yes. Yeah, let's take this time out on Keep It in the Ring with Richmancuso and Tommy D. We'll be back. More boxing talk with me, Tom, and Kid Kansas. We have a lot more to discuss. Stay with us. Back in a moment. Keep It in the Ring.
Petwell Clinic was built with busy pet parents like you in mind, providing walk-in preventative vet care, treatment for minor ailments, and chronic condition management. You remain with your pet throughout their visit, and all charges are clearly explained, so there are no surprises at checkout. Just walk in to our Paramus, Greenbrook, or Union locations, or visit us at petwellclinic.com for more information.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
All right, we're back. Yeah, can you guys hear me
All
now?
right, we're back with Keep It in the Ring. Thanks for being with us, everyone, on my YouTube channel, Richmancuso. Like, comment, and subscribe. That's Tommy D, TD Sportsbook, my co-host. Kid Kansas, the sensational young lightweight, who's going to be back in the ring soon, joining us with some great insights about Xander Zayas, who he trained with for his title defense this past weekend in Puerto Rico. Join in on the conversation, comment. And guys, before we had the technical issues, and we're back, and bear with us, it's live programming. That does happen to the best of us. But we're talking about Deontay Wilder back. He's getting Derek Charoza's next opponent in Times Square just yesterday. Both have 49 pro fights. Both of them have him. London C2 Arena, April 4th. Wilder says that he needs this more than Derek Charoza. What did you make of that comment, guys?
I'll lead off. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I think he does. I think if he wants to get on and get the opportunity to fight Usyk, there was rumor Usyk did say he would like to fight Deontay. So I think Deontay needs to get another win, maybe to make that happen. This is kind of a tune-up, but it's a tough tune-up in Chisora. So yeah, I would say yeah, I agree with him. He needs this win to hopefully get that another opportunity at the world title.
I agree, and I think
How about that?
I think it's an opportunity for both fighters. Because imagine if Shore pulls it off, you know what I mean? What does that do for him? But no, I mean, I would like to see. I got to see Wilder live in Kansas, so I'd like to see him, get a crack at the top guys again.
Oh, he says he needs to fight more than Derek Charoza, so he's serious about that. And that found out to be an interesting comment he made yesterday. And here we go again. This one coming up. Interest in this because it's been postponed once or twice already. Sebastian Fundora against Keith Thurman. March 28th in Vegas at the MGM Grand. 154, of course, where Zayas is involved, champion. Got two of the titles. Fundora, the 154-pound WBC champ. And Fundora... this is on PBC Prime. Pay-per-view. Fundora coming off the hand injury. Now, I want both of you to analyze this. First of all, will this fight eventually happen? Will it happen? It's been postponed, once or twice already? Fundora had the hand injury. And there's such a size difference as we've discussed. We analyzed it when it was coming up a few months ago. They're playing with each other about that size disparity. Kansas, does Thurman have a chance against a lanky Mexican-American, Sebastian Fundora?
Yeah, but every fighter's got a chance. But I realistically, I think Thurman for sure has a chance. Thurman's good, bro. Like nobody could take that away from him. You know what I mean? Thurman's good, and I think I'm gonna for sure tune into the fight. I like this fight.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a good.
Well, that's
fight.
a guy that, and that's a guy that Xander Zayas wants. He wants Fundora, and if he gets Fundora, eventually beats him. Still has 2 titles. He'll have 3. He's on the way to becoming undisputed in that great division.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tom.
Well, he's got to get past Thurman. I think Thurman's going to be game. This is Thurman's last chance, his last opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think Thurman, who hasn't really been one time like he says he is. I mean, he did that against an Australian opponent, which is probably not up to par with Thurman. But let's see. I mean, we've seen Fundora hurt before. We've seen him, drop before, and we've seen him stop before. So anything can happen in the sport of boxing. I think it's a good fight. I mean, we got one comment that says Fundora is going to beat the brakes off of Keith. I mean, let's see. I just hope no more postponements because Thurman has been in and out of the ring for like the past 3 or 4 years inconsistently.
Yeah, this is the last draw. Yeah. This is it. And they got to have this fight because it's going to be a mockery if it doesn't happen. because it's been on and off for the last year. So we're finally getting it. All right, let's get to this. Tom, kid. Tom's favorite fighter, by the way, Kid Kansas, is this guy, Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia. He's been active on social media more than we see him training for his upcoming fight with Mario Barrios in a couple of weeks for the title, welterweight title, 147. He's no longer a supporter of Donald Trump, with the Epstein files and all that stuff. Kid, what do you think of Ryan Garcia? What's your take on Garcia? Is he or is he not to be considered serious?
Nah, he's for sure to be considered serious. The last time everybody took him as a joke, we seen what happened. You know what I mean? Bro, mental health and mental awareness is a real thing, bro. People go through it. As you can tell, a lot of fighters go through it, but at the end of the day, fighters show up to do what they got to do in the ring. I still think Ryan's dangerous, and I know Mario Barrios knows that, and so do all the fans that are going to the fight. As far as like the politics, I won't get into the politics about him, I'll stay away from all that. But yeah, man,
But he's nothing. But he's nothing until he gets a title. He's never had a title yet. And a championship on his waist.
Yeah, but look how many fans he has. You know what I mean? How many?
Oh,
and it sucks that social media is like that.
Popularity.
Yeah, he's very popular, but I think this is a great opportunity for him, obviously, and I think he could pull it off. It just depends who comes with a better game plan. The last time, like I said, everybody was writing Ryan off. He came through and messed up everybody's parlays. You know what I mean?
I gotta say it.
Is it true? Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
Rich said he's my favorite fighter. He's probably my least favorite fighter. Mm-hmm. It's just hard to take him serious. I think he's just a clown in and outside of the ring. The steroids that he took, the press conference recently, and the guy, in my opinion, he's gotten opportunities that he probably didn't deserve. He just had a fight with Rolly. If he'd have won that, he would have probably had the rematch with Devin. He loses that fight. He goes out, and now he's rewarded with another title shot. I just don't think it's fair, compared to other fighters that work hard, that take the sport a little bit more seriously than he does. He can pull it off against Barrios. I'm hoping he doesn't. But listen, if he beats Barrios and does it in great fashion, then you know what?
Then he's legitimate. Yeah. Do you agree, Kid, do you agree with Tom? Do you agree with Tom, what Tom just said?
Which part? Him being a clown? Nah, I don't know, man. I lived with Ryan for a little bit. Nah, man. I think.
Okay.
I think he does. I think he does his marketing a little unorthodox. But I mean, at the end of the day, bro, like me knowing him personally, he's a cool dude. But like as far as like the whole, like the persona, you know what I mean? I think he's doing what he's got to do to sell the fight.
That's made him what he. That's made him that persona, like you said. And is it true from a fighter's perspective that you guys make fights on social media because he's a social media maniac, as a few others are. Many fighters. Do fighters when you see all that friction? Press conferences are everywhere, even off on social media. Does social media contribute to the animosity in your perspective? Does social 100%. Media make fights?
100%.
Have you encountered that yourself?
That's where the biggest audience is. That's where everybody's at now. It's you don't see press conferences off of TV. You go straight to where?
No.
You go to Instagram.
Social media.
YouTube. Exactly. Yeah. You got the biggest
Not like the old day with me. I'm an old newspaper man. That's what it was, and you didn't know till the next day. Now it's just a click, and you know what's going on with fighters and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So social media.
Have you been in that? It's changed everything. It's made things good. It's made things worse. Kid Kansas, have you ever encountered anything like that where you've gotten to controversy on social media like Ryan Garcia does all the time?
Nah, not me. Because I don't. like I'm gonna use an example. There was some guy, he keeps telling me, "Oh, fight this person, fight this person." I'm his friend, and then like sure enough, I'm in PR, and I run into that his friend who was there telling me to fight. Nothing was said to me. No, nobody mentioned nothing about fighting. None of that. So I was just like, you know what I mean. I keep the beef off social media because I'm a real life go getter. You know what I mean. If
And
I
you
want to
handle
fight
business
somebody,
professionally.
if I
Yeah.
want to fight somebody,
I respect
I'm gonna
that.
send the contract.
Tom, I respect what he
Yeah,
just said because that's the
absolutely.
way
I
do it
definitely, yeah.
professionally. Do it that way. Yeah, do
Listen,
it that
Kid
way.
Kid
Yeah.
Kansas is a hard worker. You know, I know some of the people that he's worked with. I mean, I think you work with Pedro Garcia. I think he's a strength and conditioning coach. He's a hard worker. We've seen him. We've seen him work with Top Rank when he wasn't even fighting that night. You know, moving stuff along. You know, Kid Kansas is a great guy. Like comparing him to
Thank you, bro.
Ryan, I know he's a friend. It's just two different people, man. So
Nah, yeah,
yeah,
people are
yeah,
gonna like him. People are gonna dislike him. You know,
yeah,
that's I don't. I'm very focused on my career, on my
yeah,
life, and on my happiness, bro.
yeah.
The way it should
Absolutely.
be. And when you're training, you're very focused, and that's what it's all about. That's what makes champions. You're an epitomize that. Speaking of a promoter who loves social media, I'm talking about Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy, because he loves doing his clapback funny. It's comical on Thursdays on Instagram and wherever else. But Oscar De La Hoya never ceases to stop, but he's got Ryan Garcia, and supposedly the Zone and him haven't come to an agreement to extend their streaming deal, but he's got Swerve TV with a multi-year partnership, according to what Swerve put out just a few days ago. Kid, I'm asking you, I'm bringing this up also because Top Rank does not have a streaming network still. And we saw Xander's fight, which is a shame. It was overshadowed by Teo and Shakur, and it was a shame that it was not on a major streaming network or anywhere, because Xander deserved better than that. You deserve better than that with Top Rank, and so does Shushu Carrington and so forth, and all those great fighters still in the Top Rank stable. Have you heard anything about a streaming deal for Top Rank, so
No
guys like
clue,
you
man.
can get any?
I have no idea. All I know is I fought my last fight with no TV, man. My last fight, I did it in Kansas, no TV, just people
Does that bother you? Does that bother you at all?
to an extent, because I had a phenomenal stoppage. That was a great fight, man. I wish people would have got to see that. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like I sit there and I bit down. I fought a guy who was 15-2 or 15-3, something like that.
Yeah, wait
And
a
I had a great stoppage. You know what I mean? And I wish people would have got to see that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a shame that they don't have a streaming network. The Hall of Fame promoter, Top Rank Bob Arum. There's no word. Right now, you got to watch them on Top Rank Classic channels, or they have their own channel. And that's how I saw Xander's fight Saturday night. Again, it was overshadowed by Teo and Shakur, but it's a shame they don't have a major streaming network. There's been talk maybe going on the Zone, but that didn't transpire. I just wish for guys like Kid Kansas right here, lightweight, who's on his way up the ladder, that he can't get that because they don't have a streaming network. Does that influence you where you go? What is your contract like with Top Rank, Kid?
It was a multi-year contract, and just expect some news soon. That's all I gotta say, man. Just expect
All
some
right.
news soon. I don't want
You
to
make sure that you let me and Tom know and keep it in the ring first. You got that?
I got you, boss.
All right.
Let me ask
Go
a
ahead.
question. Is there a
Yeah,
possibility
Tom.
it could be up? It could be up here.
In New York?
Yeah.
Nah, probably not. Not yet.
Okay. All right.
I wish, but not yet.
Okay.
Anywhere but Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, man. Well, you know what? At the end of the day, wherever I gotta go, I go. I fought in Costa Rica. You know what I mean? I fought in Mexico. I fought in Kansas. You know.
I've covered fights in China. I've covered fights in Japan. I've covered fights in Russia. So I understand that feeling. Boxing does that. It's a worldwide sport. How about this, guys? Both of you comment on this. We move on. Floyd Mayweather and Showtime. There's a lawsuit now going on. I don't know if you're in on this at all, but it's making headlines. He says his former advisor, Al Heyman, who they were very close, cheated him on $340 million. And with Showtime's former head of boxing, Steven Espinoza, in on this, on aiding and abetting money that was sent to Heyman, who with PBC. Have you heard about this? Are you in on it? Do you are you aware of it? Because it's making news.
I'm aware of it, but I'm just curious. Why did it take them so long to? You know what I mean? Why did
Good point, because you know what I think? Because I think
300 million is a lot of money. Like, I would be upset too, but why did it take so long? You know,
for Floyd. You know why?
Yeah,
Because I think Floyd is broke. That's what I think.
I think it's a combination of a couple of things. I think they worked out because it's weird that it's against Espinoza and nothing to do with Al Heyman. And Al Heyman was his advisor for pretty much his whole career.
They were very close. They were very close.
I think it's a couple of things. I think it's one, obviously, that the money is running dry. One. And two, I think there was some sort of agreement they might have had to like kind of pay out yearly or whatever. Like not like a Bobby, like something similar to like a Bobby Bonilla contract. And I think they probably stopped paying him because $310 million is a lot of money. Like why all of a sudden you asking for that now? And I think those
why all of a sudden, and that's a great point, Tom, that you brought up. Why all of a sudden? And I think a lot of it is because Floyd doesn't have the money he used to have. That's what I think. And Kid, you brought up a good point about that. Why now? You know? And that's developing. We'll see where that goes. As there's lawsuits going back and forth. I don't know where it's going to head. I'm going to leave you, Kid Kansas. Going to let you go in a moment. One final thing here. We could go on, Tom. We could have him on for 2 hours. He's terrific.
He's a busy man, though. You know what I'm saying? So
I know. That's why I don't want to disrupt him. But one final thing. This upcoming fight schedule. Now we got February that's pretty slow. We have Garcia Barrios coming up in a couple of weeks. And the calendar year doesn't look stacked as of yet. You know how they do? They make fights as they go along. But you take a look at that graphic right there. And what fight did, if you could look at it, guys, what catches your eye? I like the Hitchens-Durante fight and Fury coming back on April 11th. And, of course, Garcia Barrios. I mean, who wouldn't want to see that? And then notice this, though, that Zuffer, again, they have three shows coming up on that list, coming up in the span of a month or so or two.
They busy.
And they seem to be, yeah, well, that's what Dana White wanted. Guys, what fights on that calendar that you see, if you can see it, intrigue you, that you would look forward to seeing so far? That's what we got.
I like the Ryan Garcia fight. I like the Gary Russell fight. I like Hitchens's fight. Frank Martin, of course. I am interested in Navarrete and Nunez.
Yeah, I always like Navarrete. I love the way he fights inside and has that power. I love him.
He displays the real like they would say, like a real Mexican fighter, just come forward no matter what, man.
Yeah.
And Tom, what fight intrigued you there? One or two?
I like Gary Russell and Hiroka. I want to see that. I mean, we're waiting a while for that. That guy is good, Hiroka. Like a lot of people don't know about him. You know, he's like half Japanese, half African. He's good and he's got some pop. I think that's going to be an entertaining fight. And then I like I want to see Frank Martin and Albright. I think Albright is a phenomenal boxer, and Frank Martin now with his new trainer. Now let's see him, work. That's a very intriguing fight. And then let's see later on the last one on there, Moses and Jermaine. That's interesting. Let's says as Itama Moses moves up in the ranking and competition at heavyweight. Everybody's looking at him. So that's a tough fight. Let's see how he does with him. So very intriguing.
And Tyson Fury. Hey, everybody wants to see Tyson Fury again. He's a character. See where he goes with that. We'll see where he goes with that. Guys, this has been great. Kid Kansas, we're not done with you yet, though, because it's that time of the program. Tom, Kid Kansas, you know what it is. It's the fact of the week. We take a crack at it. I think the last time Kid Kansas came on, he got it. I think he did. This guy knows his boxing. Here we go. Pay attention. Here's a fact of the week, not trivia. Remember Mike Weaver was once a WBA heavyweight champion. He's known for beating John Tate by a knockout in the first minute of a 15-round fight back then. Okay? Then he lost his title to Michael Dokes by TKO the first minute of the first round. Okay? What's the fact here? What fact comes out of this? Weaver winning by KO in the last minute of the first round, and then losing the title to Michael Dokes by TKO 1 minute in the first round.
So you asked me for the fact?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the fact?
He had sex before the fight. He had sex before the fight.
Oh man.
That made my day. That made my year. We're only second month of the year.
Wow.
I don't know, man. What's the fact?
Weren't they cruiserweights before that? No?
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait,
but that's not the fact.
Nothing to do with that? No.
They fought.
Wait.
This is heavyweight, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but I know they were
But you
both,
know what? I practically gave you guys the answer when I brought out the beginnings of getting into the facts.
Oh, title changes, two fights in a row in what, less than a minute?
No. All right, let me give you the fact, and you'll see how easy it was. All right? The fact is, he won a title in the least amount of time remaining and lost the title in the least amount of time elapsed. Does that make sense?
He had a title for 2 minutes. Less than 2 minutes.
He lost in other words, when he won the title, he won it in a KO in the last minute of the first round. And then when he lost the title to Michael Dokes by TKO, it was 1 minute of the first round. So the fact is, again, he won the title in the least amount of time remaining. And then he lost the title in the least amount of time elapsed remaining.
Okay,
That's the fact. Get it now?
Yeah.
How easy was that?
You got to think about it, you know?
That's a weird fact. How do you get this fact?
Well, I can't give you how I do that, Tom. Then it gives away everything.
Ave Maria, man.
I guess it's like a common sense fact, I guess.
Well, you got to think when I give the facts. But I'll tell you one thing. This young fighter, this young man, how old are you, Kid Kansas?
23.
23 years of age. And on his way, he's up the ladder and on his way, 17-1, 12 knockouts. We'll await word when your next fight is, and you said you're going to have an announcement real soon, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you're going to let Tom and I know when, and hopefully it's a fight that we can see on TV, on streaming, on somewhere, or even be there if we can. Because I know, yes, kid, you'll take care of us, won't you? You'll take care of us?
I got y'all, man. I got y'all.
I would hope so.
All right. And we'll have you more on this program because you're fantastic. You're a wealth of knowledge
you guys
coming from a boxing fighter's perspective. And great things ahead for you, young man. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you, man. Y'all have a good night.
All right, good night, bro.
Keep in touch and keep it in the ring.
Will do. Later, brother.
Kid, thank you, bud. He's a champ, Tom. Great. Just great. Fantastic.
Great guy. Yeah,
insights. Great to deal with. Very cooperative, patient, on his way. And the fact of the week you both didn't get. All right. Should we take another brief break and go on, or should we continue?
Yeah, and then we finish up. I mean, we went a long time, so yeah,
we'll go right. We'll go right through with the wrestling and the style. Let's take this final brief timeout because we don't want to go 2 hours tonight. And keep it in the ring. I'm richmancuso. That's Tommy D, TD Sports Talk, Extreme Punk Entertainment. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel here on YouTube, richmancuso. Like the Keep It in the Ring page on Facebook. My social media, bottom of the screen, as well as the boxing calendar. A lot coming up more as we get to the nitty-gritty, the wrestling, Royal Rumble, nostalgia, and a few other things. Stay with us. Back in a moment.
low, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
There we go.
And what does it keep it in the ring? This what, Tom? What did you forget?
No, I said we're back. I'm getting a delay on my end. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you forgot something because you didn't.
No.
You're always on the ball here.
Yeah,
Well, let's thank Kid Kansas again. That was great stuff. Great content. Great talking to him. Let's talk pro wrestling now. WWE Royal Rumble on that exciting weekend of combat sports. We had UFC as well, and we had all the fights, and of course we had the Royal Rumble heading to WrestleMania season. And Roman Reigns, no surprise because it's all set. WrestleMania main event, which is going to headline night 2 in Vegas on the second night. It's Punk and Reigns for the world title, unless something else happens at Elimination Chamber. Tom, did you expect this?
He was one of the choices that I thought would win. I thought maybe they would go with Gunther if he had lost. But I thought one of the two was going to win, either or. So, they went with Roman, and you saw what he did on Monday Night Raw. So, pretty good main event at WrestleMania.
You know what? I thought overall the Royal Rumble, I gave it a B. I'm being nice because there were a lot of flaws. A lot of things that when the Jey Uso entrance, what was that all about? It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar getting knocked out because of Jey Uso's entrance. A lot of, the surprises. Get used to it. All the NXT talent that's come up the ladder pretty fast on the big roster now. That was evident in the Rumble. And then Liv Morgan, predictable. She wins the Women's Royal Rumble match. And you could see the friction now developing with her and Judgment Day and Raquel Rodriguez, and it's Liv Morgan now. And now we see who she is destined to take a title from, the world title probably. That's what she's after to get once again. And then we have it again. A masked man pops up. Braun Breaker gets knocked out. We didn't expect this coming. A new masked man. All right. And not Seth Rollins. We know it's not Seth Rollins. There's so many talk. Yeah, and there's so much talk who that masked man is and why. Now, Austin Theory? No. I don't know. There is talk that there could be Austin Theory because Austin Theory is going to align with Seth Rollins when he comes back to go after this fraction with Paul Heyman. But Adam Pearce, his name has come up because he's involved in that angle with Breaker.
Yes.
Jake Paul's name has come up under the mask because there's rumors he's going to be signed to a WWE contract. And, so you try and look and see who's under the hood. But WWE will play with this and swerve us in the end who that is.
You want to hear who I think it could be?
Who?
The guy from Australia, Waller.
Could be, yes, it could be him.
Yeah,
it could be him as well.
Yep.
Or it could have been Finn Balor. But that
Balor's
doesn't look like
one,
Balor.
Yeah,
because he got knocked out of the Rumble entry, so that could have been him.
Yes.
Well, they're going to be playing with that, and we won't know right away who that was. In fact, they hardly made mention of it on Monday Night Raw. And then this at the Rumble. Your favorite, not mine.
This is my favorite.
El Grande Americano.
The real one.
The two of them. Yeah. Chad Gable and that's Luke Kaiser. Among the others. I hate this.
I love it. This is great. This is great.
Face to face in the Rumble.
And then incorporate the other Americanos at the ringside. This is going to be great. I'm excited.
WrestleMania to determine who is who.
Who's the real Grande Americano?
Yeah, maybe.
I love it. I was fired up.
Triple H is getting bombasted. He's getting blasted. With what's going on WWE with creativity and what they're doing, and I can't blame the fans. There are things that are going on that make no sense. But we do know this again. It's Reigns and Punk for sure. Headlining night 2. And then we get the return. I don't know why they got to do this, but the Bella twins are back together. Brie Bella.
I'm tired of them.
In Saudi Arabia, an arena that they did because of the the lighting, it looked like there was no one there, but they were there. It's just the lighting made it look like the new venue that they built in 1 month was empty. But they're not going to do that no more with the lighting down the line because they said it took away from the crowd effect. But Brie Bella is back, and then this, of course, Gunther is becoming the tap out killer. He's becoming the career killer. And AJ style. Yeah. Gunther could be heading to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Maybe to retire him because Liz talk Lesnar's going to retire at WrestleMania, and that might be his next victim. But, AJ Styles and show these images. He took those gloves off and then put them down, and then put them back right on again to show he's not retired. Now, he may not be retired from wrestling overall. WWE didn't renew a contract. They could have him back at some point. But he's going to wrestle maybe TNA and some independents and even go back to Japan a little bit. He's not retired completely. And that's what that was all about. But that was, typical Gunther, what he's doing. He's the career killer.
Yeah, I didn't expect this, but, I thought it was too obvious. I thought that AJ was going to have a run this year, like similar to what John Cena had last year. But I guess he's going to have a run, independently. So, it was a good match. And, both are good workers. I like Gunther and I like AJ. I think they're both excellent inside the ring at what they do. So, let's see what happens with AJ now. And Gunther and Brock, that's good. That's interesting.
Did you catch the Rumble before you went to the fights?
No, I didn't. I had to watch it afterwards. So the next day.
Well, then they're talking about Rhodes, McIntyre, and Fatu for WrestleMania Night 1 as a main event match. Morgan, Stephanie Vancouver, and Jay Cardo probably against Bianca Belair, who's on the injured shelf. And what else? There was another interesting thing come out of it. Oh, yeah. Powerhouse Hobb debuted as Royce Keys. He got that name from his family somehow. He's their big guy now, too. Ema. What's his name? Oparima? Ema? What's his name? Another big giant they got.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they got some new talent in there making some noise in WWE and the Royal Rumble. They debuted a lot. WrestleMania season is here. And then you're going to have the Hall of Fame ceremony. These are what would come up with this, I've heard. There's the post that China will finally get inducted. This is what's coming out. John Cena for sure. Stephanie McMahon had already been announced, and the Hardy Boys, who were part of TNA and they were part of WWE, and probably Sid Vicious. That's the Hall of Fame poster I think they're going to be coming out with eventually. That was leaked out on social media. Interesting Hall of Fame class induction. WrestleMania weekend, Tom. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. China finally getting in. They've been trying to get China in for a while now. Still no demolition, though.
No, it's surprising. Something must not be right there.
Yeah.
And then AEW. I got to talk about AEW because they're leading towards MJF. And what was this thing with MJF? I had the last on Dynamite was usual stupidity. But MJF and was it Swerve again or Brody or I don't know, MJF, and I wrote it down. And that's how much we're not into AEW, Tom.
I'm not into AEW
because I don't remember. I wrote it down in my notes. Oh yeah, here we go. Anywhere. I had Brody King MJF at Grand Slam in Australia. That's their no main event. That's not pay-per-view, by the way. But this is them. They're all over the place. You never know what they're going to do. So anyway, that's the wrestling stuff this week at Keep It in the Ring. Let's go to nostalgia. We do it each and every week. And we lead off first with 1943. February 5th, 1943, Two Sugars. That's how I got it. Jake LaMotta defeated Sugar Ray Robinson. We're going to do Two Sugars tonight. 10th round, unanimous decision, Detroit Olympia Stadium, second of their 6 fights between them. Robinson's first loss after winning the title in his first 40 bouts. And then we get this. February 5th, 1977, the other Sugar Ray Leonard, the Hall of Famer. Pro debut in the 6th round, unanimous decision over Luis Vega, Baltimore Civic Center. Leonard won the event. Won every round in this event, televised and on CBS national television when boxing was streamed on national television. 5-division champ Leonard, then here, 20 years of age, with 20 years of age his debut, 10,000 fans, 40,000. He got paid $40,000 for his pro debut. Not bad for Sugar Ray Leonard.
For a pro debut, that's phenomenal. In 1977. Wow, and the other guy got paid like $650.
Yeah, that was pretty good. But remember, they had to remember, as much as the networks have money now, back then it was still CBS, and CBS still had the money to do it. Then boxing was strong back then, and that was sugar. Yeah. All right, we have a clip of that. Do you have a little clip?
I got some highlights here. I'll stream it along.
All right, let's show that briefly. Run it through real quick, because we're going to wrap up, too, after that real quick. Let's take a look at this. Just, if you're nostalgia freaks, as we are, the February 5th, 1977, Sugar Ray Leonard pro debut against Luis Vega, Baltimore Civic Center. Run it through, Tom, and take a look at how great Sugar Ray... look at him.
He's got his home crowd fans in attendance, and he's just there showing, why he was the Olympian that he was, and just boxing with the jab and just, playing with him, having some fun in there in the first round. And then we'll stream along. He didn't knock this guy down the entire fight. He lasted all 6. I think this was a 6-rounder, and he survived. The guy was tough. He's never been knocked down in his career up to that point. So.
Over 10,000 fans were in that attendance, and CBS Sports televised it to the public. That's when boxing was king on national television at the time. And boxing back then, with Sugar Ray Leonard, the Olympic champion, also was getting mainstream publicity then. Today, you don't get nothing mainstream.
Yeah, you don't.
It's only among boxing people. But there he is, a great champion he was, 5-division champ.
Yeah.
Of course, Sugar Ray Leonard went on the great Hall of Fame career, and of course we know what Roberto Duran in the No Mas fight up in Montreal.
Yeah.
But look at that style, how quick, agile, good punching ability, good footwork. That was Sugar Ray Leonard. Right there, his pro debut showed what was to come.
And look, this guy was tough. This was the last round. This is the ending of the last round of the fight. 6th round, I believe. The guy wouldn't go down. So,
nope.
Great pro debut.
Great stuff, Tom. Thank you, Tom, for putting that together. And, of course, that's on YouTube, like a lot of old fights are if you're into the yesteryear of boxing, as we are. All right. Take a look at this. A list of champions in boxing right now by country, showing the diversity of this sport. And you look at Mexico, USA leads, and Mexico is in there. And, of course, the UK, now with Josh Kelly, is their newest champion with 6 champions. The diversity of boxing shows right there among nations how many champions are represented. And the USA is right there on top. Mexico is always with 6 champions. And, of course, the UK is catching up fast now with Josh Kelly, Tom.
Yeah.
You're really good. Yep.
Josh Kelly.
And then this.
A few weeks ago.
Yeah. Yep. And then he's now in that mix. He's a champion at 154, as we discussed earlier. Back in the past with me and this guy. I know you love when I show this stuff because I hear on my head a little more.
Showing you with
There's James Buster Douglas. Remember him?
Yeah.
Here I'm interviewing him at an event where he was honored. And, of course, we know what he did. The upset in boxing, got to be the upset of all time. Defeating Mike Tyson in Japan.
Yeah.
Still, like it was yesterday. And I was talking to him right there back then about that fight in the upset. Me and James Buster Douglas, who's still around doing well. He was in New York this week for the fight, too, with Shakur and Teo. He was there. James Buster Douglas. And then this. Back then in my wrestling days, and there's an old picture with me. A Nature Boy Ric Flair, a young Nature Boy Ric Flair when he was there with the NWA. Why are you laughing, Tom?
We had a little bit more hair back then.
Well, we all lose hair once in a while.
So did Ric Flair. Look,
Even
Ric
Jared,
Flair
even Jared Baby Miller loses his hair too. Yeah, that's the Nature Boy Ric Flair, who was nice as could be, and then he was in the NWA. The old NWA, the Jim Crockett promotion and so forth. And they were in New York at the time. I was involved with that somehow. I hardly remember how or why. But there I am with the Nature Boy Ric Flair. I know you love seeing this stuff, Tom, and I know
every week.
I know you do.
One or two of you with somebody in the past. Like
I know
all of these because I'm going to make a whole thing one day, a video with all these pictures of you and all these. All
there
these
you go.
And,
that's it.
I only have boxers and wrestlers. I hardly have any baseball players and stuff.
You'll get that because I got to put the book is going to come and you'll have that. All right, and we leave with this. Nick Ball announced Brandon Figueroa on the zone for the featherweight championship. That's coming up. That was announced yesterday, I believe. Or is that coming up this? No, that's the fight this weekend. This weekend, that's the major fight because boxing has that this weekend. Brian Garcia in 2 weeks. We take a little break because the Super Bowl is Sunday, and I know who you're rooting for.
Well, I mean, is it obvious that I'm rooting for this team right here? You see them right there? This is the old school jersey.
All right, and what's this?
This is my Kobe
I see, and they're going to win it. I just don't know by how much. What's the score? What do you like? What's your score?
Let me tell you something, Rich. I'm going to tell you something. I was going to tell you off the air. I think Steve Servy's mad at me.
Why?
Because I tried to get him to come on a couple times. He said no. I think he's upset because I made a short out of the video we did where he made his predictions, and he told me. He said it won't be the Jets, it won't be the Giants, and then he said it won't be the Patriots, and then he said, I'm sorry, Tom, it won't be the Seahawks. And look, both teams are in the Super Bowl. I think he's upset that I put that video out there.
I don't know.
I have a feeling because he's kind of like one-wording me. So
I will talk to him. Patch it up if anything. But
joke.
He's not that. Steve Serby is not that type because he's a jokester himself.
Oh, okay. So, that's what I was saying because he's giving me real-word answers.
Nah, don't worry about it. I'll patch it up. He's been a friend of mine for 43 years or more. All right. What's the score Sunday? Real quick.
I hate to do this because I don't like jinxing my team. But I think that we're the better team, the better defense. If Darnold plays well, I think we dominate them. I think if the Rams would have beat us, I would have picked the Rams too to win big. I think Seattle wins 34-13.
All right, I got the Seahawks winning it 23, I believe somewhere around there, 23-24-17. But I'm never right, so don't listen to me anyway.
Well, as long as they win, all right? Forget the score. I just want them to win the game.
You will. I'm pretty sure because they have it all, and they have the quarterback now in Darno. And, look. Let's see how many of these two teams, on fourth down, what they do. New England likes to do that. Seattle doesn't because they got a good kicker. So let's see how far that goes. Yeah. What are the comments before we go say goodnight? Any more?
People just chiming in. One guy bet Buster Douglas to beat Tyson. He said he bet 500 and he won 45,000. I believe that's what he's saying.
Good for him. And who else we got here?
And look who comes in late. The guy that did your thumbnail, BVO.
Thank you.
So. Well, and then we got score predictions. He picked. He's really big. So.
Yeah. I thank you all for commenting. I thank you all for watching this week's edition of Keep It in the Ring. I want to thank Kid Kansas, the exciting lightweight. Great perspective from him on Xander Zayas and much more as we went around the boxing circuit for a good half hour or more. I missed some technical problems, but we got it done. Next week, back on the air again. Watch the social media, and we'll let you know. And also, Tom, I forgot to ask Kid Kansas where to reach him, but we'll get that up there. But anyway, he's on social media on Instagram and Facebook as well. Just type in Alan Garcia, Kid Kansas. You'll get him if you want to talk to him more. Tom, where do fans reach you? How do they get you? Let us know. TD Sports Talk, great colleague, friend, producer. How did they get you?
Well, first off, let me wish BVO's daughter a happy birthday. It's his daughter's
Happy birthday.
today. Happy birthday to her. Well, you can find me here on YouTube at TD Sports Talk. Just put in my name, Thomas Dillamuth. You'll find me. You could also catch me every Sunday at 2:05 p.m. on East Coast time at Ring Talk Worldwide with my man Pedro Fernandez. You can catch it at the Sports Byline USA. And you'll catch me on Instagram and you catch me at the fights. Most importantly, whenever there's fights here in New York, I am there.
I know you are. I know you are. And I try and make them as well, but I'm getting older and it's getting tougher. Fans, thanks for watching. Get me on my social media, xring786, facebook.com, richmancuso, Facebook page, like it, keep it in the ring. Most of all, please comment, your comments are great. Like and subscribe to my channel at YouTube. I really appreciate it. If you haven't done that, do so. And to String Punk Entertainment and TD Sports Talk. Tom, great hour or more. This was great. We'll talk again next week. God bless you all. Stay healthy. Be good to each other. Until next week, what do we say, Tom?
Keep it in the ring.
Keep it in the ring. Thank you. See you next time. I'm Rich Mancuso. That's Tommy D. Talk to you later.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.